Here's a weird text message I woke up to the other day. Hey Thom, just heard David Spade mention you and your glasses on fly on the wall. What?
Hey, how was your weekend, co-host?
So when I did this show this weekend, it was for Farm to Veterans. So it's a charity show in Chicago. This guy Thom Tran was on the show with me. He went first, and it's funny because he had to kind of host the whole thing. And he showed us these glasses he had on. I go, that was a mouthful out there. He goes, oh yeah, just put these glasses on, and the teleprompter's in them.
Well, I did get to work with David Spade in Chicago, and even though his co-host Dana Carvey goes on to describe another company's Smartglasses, these are the AR glasses that he was talking about. These are the Even Reality's G1 Augmented Reality Smartglasses. They do turn-by-turn walking and biking navigation, nearly real-time language translation, voice memo transcription, it's got an AI-powered virtual assistant, and a couple other cool things. But how does it handle the one thing I need it to do? The Teleprompter app. That's good. But how good? And is it worth the price? I'm Thom Tran. This is Thom's Essential Entertainment Equipment, and it's time to spill the tea. I know I keep saying I'm going to change the title of this segment, but I like it. And before anyone starts typing, why aren't you wearing them in the video? The camera is like 3 feet from my face, and you can see my eyes moving from this close, and it's distracting and a little disconcerting. So maybe I'll put them on later in the video as an example. Now, right off the bat, this isn't a sponsored video. No one paid me, and no one sent these glasses to me. I bought them with my own irresponsibly spent money. Starting at $599 if you want to add prescription lenses for $150 and the sunglasses clip for another $100, these could cost you up to $850, which puts them on the higher end of AR smart glass tech at the moment. But are they worth it? Well, that's a you question. Like, I don't mind paying $25 or $30 for a good lobster roll as long as it's really good. Shout out to Pete's Seafood in San Diego, best lobster rolls on the West Coast. But as long as the tech does what it says it does, and it does what I need it to do at a professional level, it's worth whatever I'm willing to pay for it. And saying that out loud makes me realize that it didn't really make sense. Look, let's talk about these glasses. The good, the bad, and the meh. And then we'll talk about if they're worth the price and who should buy them. First of all, these aren't the Ray-Ban Meta glasses that Dana Carvey describes later in the episode. They don't have speakers or a camera, and you can't play music or take phone calls on it. But I think the kind of person that will be using these don't want or need those. These are for professional speakers and presenters that do those things live. All that other tech adds size and weight and distracts from the stylish nature of these glasses. So let's look at how they look, I guess. Fashion is subjective, but I think they both look great. Both the G1A model, which is rounder, and the G1B model, which are a little more rectangular in shape, are stylish, and they're great for everyday wear without people knowing that you're wearing tech on your face. Although the A model gives me a little bit of a Harry Potter vibe. Using the Even Reality's trademarked Holistic Adaptive Optical System, or the HAOS, because we love acronyms, you'll get a monochrome green heads-up display, which we'll just call a HUD from now on, because come on, it's 2025, you guys. This is where you'll see text, navigation maps, notifications, and other data in front of you. The display is crisp, sharp, and projected onto both lenses. And my favorite part is that you can adjust the height and the size of the information on the HUD, unlike other brands of wearables where you're stuck with the data where it is. You can set the HUD's dashboard to show a minimal amount of information, which is like the date, time, and weather, or you can include calendar information or a widget with stocks, news, navigation, or a quick note. And while we're at it, let's talk about the quick note. I am loving this feature. You tap and hold the right touch bar to activate it, and then you record a voice note. And the quick note app will both save your original voice memo, and it'll offer an AI-generated summarized transcription of it, and then save it to your app. Order cat food, pick up dry cleaning, cancel Disney+. This is going to be great for me or anyone who needs to take notes on the go, but you're driving, so you can't type on your phone, and Lord knows Siri is garbage at taking notes. I can't count the number of times I've lost a joke or a bit in my head because I was driving and couldn't stop to write it down. And then, by the time I stop, it's gone. But now, activate the Quick Note app, record, and it's saved on the app. I do, however, wish that I could use the hands-free system to trigger this application. It's also got a transcription feature that is spot on. I mean, it transcribes what you say and it saves it. So it's pretty basic. It works fine and it's helpful in business situations. Now let's talk about what could use some work. The AI assistant is spotty at best. You can activate the feature using even AI's personal assistant, which can be powered by ChatGPT or Perplexity. However, if you want to use the hands-free voice control, you must use even AI's large language model, or LLM. It's a basic Siri-type personal assistant. You can ask it questions like what's the weather, or to hands-free activate some other app like Translate or Transcription.
Hey, Ethan. What's the weather in New York?
Now let's talk about navigation. So, it is objectively cool to have a navigation map pulled up in your HUD while you're walking the streets of whatever unfamiliar city you find yourself in. The monochrome green map takes up the entire heads-up display and you get turn-by-turn walking or biking instructions. There's no support for driving, which both sucks but is also understandable. However, the app is lacking. It's fine if you have the address for the place you're going to, but the map search features are woefully executed. Watch what happens when I try to map search a Starbucks near the comedy club I was working at this past weekend. There's me in Burbank standing outside the comedy club. I type in Starbucks, and it tells me the closest Starbucks is 6.7 miles away. First of all, if you ever type Starbucks into a map, the result should come back littered with map pins. Secondly, when have you ever been more than 6 miles from a Starbucks? I know of a place where there's a Starbucks literally across the street from another Starbucks. And finally, I know for a fact that there is a Starbucks around the corner from this club. Also, Starbucks isn't paying me to say their name this much. It is just the most ubiquitous chain I could think of to prove this point. Next problem with the navigation app, let's say you do find a spot on the map you want to walk to, like this restaurant around the corner called the Over Under House. You can't just tap the location of the map. You have to type it in or type in the address if you know it, and then the navigation system will give you the directions. So while the turn-by-turn navigation system works, the maps function leaves a lot to be desired. As it stands, you have to search an address in Google Maps, transpose the address into the Even app, and then start the walk. First world problem, I know, but considering the state of technology and navigation systems in 2025, this map function should be way more intuitive than it is. I give the navigation experience a 6 out of 10, and that's only because of the nerd factor of having turn-by-turn in your HUD. But the execution gets a 2 out of 10. Now let's talk about the translation function, which supports 26 languages at the moment, which are, in alphabetical order, Arabic, Bengali, Cantonese, Chinese, Czech, Danish, Dutch, English, Finnish, French, Standard German, Swiss German, which I am right now learning that there is a difference between, Greek, Hindi, Hungarian, Italian, Japanese, Korean, Norwegian, Polish, Portuguese, Russian, Spanish, Swedish, Turkish, and Ukrainian. But somehow, not Vietnamese? Come on, even realities. There are like 86 million Vietnamese speakers in the world. I mean, I'm not one of them, but that's exactly why I need the language support. So I know when my Vietnamese family is talking about me. Even the Inmo Go glasses supports Vietnamese, and I returned those. But I tested out the real-time translation at dinner at a Chinese restaurant, and shout out to my waiter who was very patient.
Can I have the Peking duck?
Okay, packing up.
Now, as you saw, it worked fine. It was a little slow, and there were a couple of instances where even the waiter was like, that's not what I said. But it was pretty loud in there, and he wasn't exactly close to the phone when he was talking, so that might have had something to do with it. Now, there's a free version of the translate function, which is available to everyone, and then there's a paid Pro Time version, which costs $4.99 for an hour, $23.99 for 5 hours, and $44.99 for 10 hours. First of all, I don't know how they came up with those rates and usage numbers, but regardless. Can we stop with the subscription bull already? You clearly have the tech. This nickel and diming customers for premium experience is getting really tired. And I'm not talking to even AI. I am talking to everyone. All of this constant subscription-based app garbage is why I don't use Final Cut Pro on my iPad and Logic Pro on my iPad. Apparently, the Pro features are supposed to offer, quote, premium translation services designed to cater to the needs of businesses and individuals who require high-quality, accurate, and efficient translations. Or you could, give the best experience possible to everyone that spends $600 to $800 for these glasses, but whatever. Now, I should mention that it's not like $4.99 and you have 60 minutes to use it. The app actually keeps track of how many minutes you're using in the Pro features over time. Now let's talk about the reason that I bought these glasses. But just like the last pair of smart glasses I tried out, I didn't want or need any of those other functions. I bought these for one reason and one reason alone. And if this was the only thing these AR smart glasses did and did really well, I'd be happy with it. The Teleprompter app. And you know what? It does it really well, but not without problems. I give a lot of keynotes and I do a lot of public speaking, and I host the Association of the U.S. Army's Greater LA chapter of the U.S. Army birthday ball every year for like the last 5 or 6 years. I don't need a teleprompter, but there are cases when having a teleprompter makes presentations infinitely better. But sometimes having a teleprompter is just not possible. And even if you have one, it's a static position. You have to stand in one place to use it. And there's no dynamics to your presentation or stage presence. Now, I reviewed another pair of smart glasses with a teleprompter app, and they were terrible. This teleprompter app is great. The formatting of the text fits the lenses in a logical way. There are several ways you control the text in your HUD. You can do it manually on the phone, or you can use the touch pads on the arms to go forward or backward in the script. You can have it auto scroll to a preferred speed, or, and this is what set it over the top for me, the AI text scrolling will use the built-in microphone to follow you as you read and scroll the text as you go.
The first duty of every Starfleet officer is to the truth, whether it's scientific truth or historical truth or personal truth. It is the guiding principle on which Starfleet is based. If you can't find it within yourself to stand up and tell the truth about what happened, you don't deserve to wear that uniform.
It intelligently starts and stops and picks up when you get back on script. You can riff or get off track and still come back to the pre-written text. And if you want to, you can control it with a Bluetooth remote. Now, along with the text in the HUD, you have the current time in case you have a hard out on a venue, and it has a timer, so you can time out the presentation when you practice. You can activate it through the app or use the hands-free function to start the teleprompter. If these glasses did nothing else, this would be enough for what I paid for them because of what I do for a living. But like I mentioned, there are opportunities for this to be better. The Bluetooth disconnects by itself a little more than I'd like. It makes me a little nervous going into live speaking situations. I thought it got fixed with a firmware update, but it's still glitchy. I would also prefer the text to be a little lower on the HUD so it doesn't look like I'm looking over the people that I'm talking to. And really, that's about it for now. But if you're looking for a teleprompter app and a set of AR smart glasses, then this is the one I recommend. And the kicker is that no one can tell that you're wearing AR glasses. I walked around a comedy club with them on. I wore them on stage. No one had any idea. I even did a little experiment using these last weekend. I gave a workshop on public speaking in a room of about 100 people.
You don't get good at something without practice. You can cheat a little. You can cheat a little, like wearing AR glasses that have your notes. How many people knew I was wearing AR glasses?
4 people realized that I was wearing smart glasses, and that's because they were standing like 10 feet away from me. But if you're on stage and away from the audience, most people will have no idea. Now, with a starting price of $599, should YouTube content creators and regular folks get them? Probably not, unless you make a lot of money doing YouTube videos. But for high-level CEOs, public speakers, C-suite executives, TED Talk wannabes, or hell, even military leaders who often give public presentations in front of large audiences, these are a must-have. And if you're a C-suite exec, you're not really sweating the $1,000 price tag. But the quality, performance, and confidence this will give both the presenter and audience member makes this an absolute professional necessity. And for this reason and this reason alone, I am giving the Even Realities G1 AR smart glasses a 9 out of 10. It would be higher if the price was lower, but seriously, to me, it's worth every penny I spent on it. So there we go. That's my review of the Even Realities G1 AR smart glasses. Let me know if this was helpful. Let me know if this is something you think you need. That's it for Spilling the Tea. If there's another piece of AR eyewear you think I should check out, let me know in the comments below. Or if there's any cool tech for entertainers or professionals, I want to know about it. This is an excerpt from my podcast, Comedy on 11, which you can follow at Comedy on 11 Pod. Follow me on all the places at _Thom Tran, THOMTRAN. All of my stand-up comedy tour dates are on my website, ThomTran.com. Like, share, follow, subscribe, do all the things, let people know about the show. Thanks for watching, and remember to turn the laughs up to 11.